When I was a little girl, I spent a lot of time with my grandmother, and every morning she would make herself a cup of coffee. And if I was lucky, I too would get a little bit of coffee. Also, I discovered around the same age that I had the ability to sense spirit, and I would know when someone who had departed was in the room with us. I'm all grown up now, and I still love coffee, and I miss my grandmother too. And guess what? I'm still a medium. Hello, everybody. We want to welcome you back to the Medium Roast Podcast with your host, medium minister and spiritual teacher, Dr. LaCara Foster. And I'm so excited to have you here with us today. Y'all, you guys have been rocking with us for more than 6 episodes now, and we are winding down to the end of season 1. But listen, we still have a ways to go. I'm so excited that we have someone, oh gosh, I can't even describe it, right? But you guys will understand what I mean when I say that as we get into this conversation. We have the one and only Headkrack with us. And if you don't know him, let me tell you, this guy's a nationally syndicated radio and television personality, and you are popping up all over my timeline everywhere.
Wow.
Yes. But tell us a little bit more about yourself, and welcome to the Medium Roast Podcast.
Well, first and foremost, Doctor, thank you so much for having me,
Yes.
and congratulations on just getting in here, getting it done, knocking everything out. I do everything that God will allow me to do.
I love that.
You know what I mean? I think a lot of times people silo themselves into one thing. Like, this is the thing I do, but I feel like we as people, we should never be like a monolith.
Yes.
You know,
yes,
you gotta be able to evolve and do all the different things. So I actually, my entertainment journey started technically with me rapping, right?
Yes.
Like in high school, doing the things. But it started going up a notch once I started getting behind the scenes and working for record companies.
Okay.
And then I started running like a street team. And then from the street team thing, this radio opportunity opened up. And through the radio opportunity, started landing like small roles in films.
Yes, because you were on Ricky Smiley.
Yeah, Big Smile One show, but that was actually my second show. My first show was a night show.
Okay.
With me, my homie Keynote, this other guy named Super K.
Okay.
We're all friends who like came up in the Dallas hip hop scene together. And one night we was at a party. He was like, "Yo, there's a new station in town." Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, let's make a tape and turn it in.
Yeah.
And get a job so we can do overnights." Like, I was very intentional.
Yes.
But what I want is like, "Yeah, we're gonna make a tape, we're gonna turn it in, and we're gonna get it in this slot." Only thing I was wrong about is they're like, "Nah, we don't want you for the 10 to 2 a.m. slot. We want you to do 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So we did the night show.
Wow.
Which is unheard of for people who have never done radio before, especially in a high of a market as Dallas. So that was tremendous, man. And if I would have died right then, I'd have felt like, okay, cool, I did everything I wanted to do.
Like you did everything.
Yeah, but come to find out, like, no. Like, it's like when you're playing a video game, you think you're almost about to beat the game, and you look at the stats, you're like, I'm only 17% through.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
there's a lot more to go.
A lot more to go.
Oh, that is so awesome. So you are enjoying your human experience.
I am. You know, some days are tougher than others because, you know, like everything can't be always the up part of the roller coaster.
Yes.
Sometimes it's down. It's like, oh my God, am I going to make it?
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it's about figuring out how to survive into the next moment, which is the magic of all of it.
Yes. So we're going to talk a little bit about how we met.
Okay.
Or at least, so it's so funny, right? I always have like these backstories that sometimes the guests don't know, like about the backstory.
No, I definitely remember that night because I cried twice.
Oh, I know, but there's things that happened even before that. So I, of course, have, kind of followed your career. I've heard you on the radio, television, all those things. But then one day I was in St. Augustine, Florida, and I just remember like sitting out by the pool and your live popped up. And I had never seen one of your lives. And on this particular live, you were talking about your ayahuasca journey.
Yeah.
And I was so captivated. One, because as a medium, like spirit has come to me and is always telling their loved ones, like, we're fine, right? Like, there's no need to worry about us. But this is what you were saying. Like, you're like, listen, I've traveled to the other side. You guys are like, your loved ones are fine. There's no need to. So I was so I said to myself, when I meet him, right, I'm going to tell him like he's, as a medium, like he's absolutely correct.
Thank you.
Now, I saw you at an event, but this was an event for it was like the Hip Hop Hall of Fame event.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I saw you, but I said nothing, right? Because I just kind of like,
was this locally?
Yes, it was here in Atlanta.
Was it at Atlanta, Tucky?
It was.
Okay, cool, yeah.
Yeah, I saw you there, and I got nervous, and I was like, he's gonna think I'm weird, so I'm not gonna go up and I'm not gonna tell him.
No, like I'm so used to meeting people, like because a lot of times I go to places by myself, so I'd be happy when I like run into a person I can talk to.
And I said nothing, and I was like, okay, for real. The next time I see him, which was at Tamar's event, was like, okay, you have to tell him at this event. And then that's when we had the exchange, and we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah.
Because I think I introduced myself. I told you I was a medium, and we started talking because I want to know more about your ayahuasca journey. But it was a name that I said to you.
Yeah.
I don't remember what name I said.
I feel like it was might have been Elaine.
No, it was the guy you said you saw. It was like he was like a medicine man, but I don't remember the name.
A medicine man.
Yeah, you said you went to see him right before your mom passed.
Oh, it was it wasn't a medicine man. It was a quantum hypnotherapist.
There you go.
And his Byron.
I asked you. I said, "Who is Byron?" That's what I asked you. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what it was. It's all coming back to me.
Yes.
Now, yep.
And so that's when you started telling me about Byron. And so tell us a little bit about like your ayahuasca journey and all of that stuff.
So how I got there was like, so my favorite boxer of all time is Mike Tyson.
Yes.
And I watched his podcast because he had multiple ones. He had Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. There was one he was doing before that with Peter Rosenberg. And being a fan of Mike Tyson, like you remember Mike from the 80s, who we felt like
Mike Tyson
was not going to make it to the 2000s. Like, it was a lot going on with that brother during that time. So for a person who's like kind of like studied him from afar, like only in an athletic way, but also from a psychological way, I noticed how changed he was at this phase of his life. And he was always talking about this thing he did called the toad, which is they extract the venom from the back of a toad, and then like you and then you have just like an ego death. Yes. And so I was really intrigued, but I live in Atlanta, and I'm not gonna buy toad from anyone in Atlanta because I got trust issues. Like I was like, yo, you'll be dead. You'll be on the 5 o'clock news. So so I was like, all right. So if I can't find a toad, what's the more organic or like to the roots version of it? And then I started doing the research. Oh, ayahuasca. I think I've been hearing about off and on most of my life. All right, let me look into this. Yeah. So I ran into somebody who knew someone who was putting together a retreat. Went to said retreat, and it completely blew my mind and changed my life, because like I was going through a lot of storms during that time. Okay. Like, leaving something that was like surefire and stable as the Ricky Smiley Morning Show, and to venture into your own morning show. Yes. And then also just like dealing with the energy of people and the demands of the world and everything, still dealing with the loss of my mom. I was just juggling a lot. Yeah. So I wanted to just try to spiritually fortify myself and just try to unlock the best version of myself. And when I did that, like like the way ayahuasca journeys work, it works like lessons. Yeah. And you don't know what lesson, you may have like an idea in your head what you think you're going to learn. Okay. But nah, like the instructor is going to tell you what they're going to teach you when you get there. Yeah. So like, I did want to, deal with the loss of my mom and make sure she was good. And same thing with my grandmother and Biggie, because I like rap a lot. Wow. And like what I experienced was like, everybody who has transitioned out of this physical experience to the spiritual one, they're in a way better place than we are.
Oh, absolutely.
And what you feel when you transition, like, physically to spiritually is like, you cannot replicate that feeling. Yeah. There's no amount of money that you can get. There is no amount of good news that someone can give you that can replicate that same energy that was replicated for me. Wow. And feeling that, right? Wow. Because I got to experience that like 3 different times. And that made me at peace with not only like my mother's passing, but anybody else that I ever lost or like, up to that point would lose in the future. Because listen, this is like a grain of sand in a larger beach of time that we will, be experiencing in the long scope of it. So like, man, like everybody's good, man. Yeah. There's no need to worry about those people. Yeah. It's so interesting because people always ask, like, especially if someone was murdered or something, or they died in an accident, like, did they suffer? Mm-hmm. And I always tell them that, like, spirit always tells me that there's no memory of suffering, right? And so it kind of makes me feel like what you're saying, like that passage through the doorway that we call death, is like nothing can replicate that, right? Yeah, well, and I think whatever that feeling of transitioning feels like, whatever traumatic thing, whether it's traumatic or peaceful, that trumps that. It's like if you play an Uno and you got a +2, but I hit you with this wild draw 4.
Yeah.
Like, yo, that death transfer trumps everything.
Yeah. Did it help you with your understanding more in terms of your mom's passing or dealing with the piece of it all?
It did. It did, because I was worried about whether or not she was in pain, because like what the doctors was telling me, because like she had pneumonia, right? Okay. And this is like pre-COVID, but it was very COVID-y.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In the long scope of things, right? And what they was telling me why they had her like in a medically induced coma, like, yo, if she codes, you know, we probably should just let her go. And I'm like, no, I want to say that I tried everything.
So,
I gotcha. Yo, you get the defibrillators and you guys try to work it out if something happens. And when she transitioned, I wasn't there. Me and my sister weren't there, but they did do the defibrillators, and like, you know, and it still didn't work. And I was just like, you know, damn, like, did I make my mother suffer more during that time? Because I selfishly wanted to keep her here bound by all these, you know, these physical things, because I wanted my mother.
Yes.
Well, actually, we both did, actually. Yeah. You know, but you know, at the end of the day, like, she didn't feel it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why maybe just Spirit was just saying it in terms of bringing up the fact that there's no memory of suffering.
Yeah. Because right? I feel guilty anytime someone dies. Like, I always somehow try, like, not always, but with certain people, I'm like, man, was it my fault?
Yeah.
Or like, did I not do enough? And like, for my mother, I wanted to make sure we did everything. Yeah. Even if she had to stay in the hospital for 6 months, like, I wanted to make sure we did everything that we possibly could have.
And what they really, honestly, Headkrack, what they make me understand is, one, we all have a sacred contract, right? That this is the day that I'm coming, this is the day that I'm leaving. And those dates are non-negotiable, right? And so we don't know, the soul knows how we're going to depart this physical body. So in your mom's case, could have been pneumonia, right? But the soul could have said, you know, heart attack, cancer, but I have to leave this physical body on this day, right? And so our loved ones are often feeling like, what more could I have done? There's nothing more you could have done to extend, right? Which I believe, I'm sure you made her physical life here amazing, but there's nothing more we can do to extend past the point that we've agreed to already.
That's true. I mean, I think sometimes, you know, like, we as humans have a hero complex.
Yes.
And we want to feel like, you know,
we could have done something.
Because even when I lost my granddad, right? My granddad died on Christmas Eve. And me and my father was supposed to go down there that Christmas Eve to go, like, hang out with him. And we didn't. And it was like, we didn't want to drive. Yeah. Like, because my dad was driving from New York, I was driving from Dallas. This is like pre-smartphone with the GPS.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, man, like, I don't even know if my car gonna make it. You know, that kind of thing. It's like, and I'll drive down there and see him another time. Yeah. And then my dad would like, and all my dad would needed was like one excuse to not go. Yeah. Like, he's really easy to nudge in the opposite direction. And we didn't go, and my granddad passed away, and it was just like, yo, man, like, what if we went? Yeah. Would he had not had, or like, could we have done something? Yeah. Or like, if we noticed that he was in any state of duress, you know, like, you know, we just don't know.
And that's what they show me. Like, and a lot of times that spirit will leave, or it's easier for spirit to kind of dip up out of the body when loved ones aren't around. So sometimes you'll hear like, oh, I just went to the store, or I went to go take a shower, and I left the room for one moment. When I came back, they were gone. Or so it's like they've shown me spirit is like, you know, the body would fight much harder to stay, right? Then the spirit is like, no, like, we're already gonna leave here. What is your faith, if I may ask? Like, I identify as Christian, Christ-minded. What do you identify as anything?
Probably largely Christian.
Okay.
But like, I go check out everybody.
Yes.
Like I got the Costco sampler of religion. Like, because I feel like there's so much. Yeah. There's a lot of good in what everybody is kicking. You know? Like, I mean, but like, I think long as your overall understanding is that there is a higher force. Yes. That puts the puzzle together, and it's up to you to scramble it and like create the bigger picture, like, you know, then I rock with it. You know what I mean? Like,
and I ask because I know sometimes like religion takes issue with like ayahuasca or mediumship or any of those things, but for me, I feel like all of it's all a part of it.
It is, and that blows my mind a lot of times when people say that, like, yo, a medium is that's of the devil.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, in the Bible, people had gifts.
Yeah.
And it's about how you use your gifts to help others.
Absolutely.
You know, and like, you know, like I've never encountered anybody, whether it be in the medium space, the card tarot reading space, that have really like used their skills to either oppress or or push people down. It's always been like, you know, in the space of uplift. Now, granted, there's some people who use it as a hustle.
Yeah.
The same way that there are pastors that uses God's word
lawyers
as a hustle.
and doctors and mechanics and everybody, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So like, you know, like at the end of the day, are you using your gifts to like, you know, help the world around you be better, or are you using it to like solely help yourself? And, you know, and having weird nefarious reasons, that's on you.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, I feel like, you know, like there's a lot of great things that I see like within the Muslim faith that like I rock with. You know, there's a lot of things that I see, you know, with the fundamentals of Christianity that I rock with.
Yeah.
You know, even the Buddhist, even the I want to learn more about not Dianetics, but Scientology.
Okay.
But, you know, because like, yo, like I was in LA one time and I walked past the
building.
Yeah. And it was like, they let me in. And I was like, oh, that's the first step. You know, but they didn't have nothing going on at that time.
Yeah.
Because like, I just want to hear everybody out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like, you know, when you eat a piece of steak.
Yeah.
Some people will eat the meat and the gristle.
Yeah.
Some people will even chew the bone if their teeth are good enough. But, you know, like it's about just checking out everything and seeing how you can apply it to your life to make your life and make you a better person so you can serve people better.
Absolutely.
Because there's some people who won't even deal with you unless you understand their faith, their religion, what they're talking about. Yeah, so I want to be able to walk into any room and have a conversation with anybody, no matter how you get down religiously, even if you're not religious.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I could be your gateway.
That's really good. We're going to take a small break, and we'll be right back. All right. Well, this is a Medium Roast podcast. So listen, you got to tell me how you like your coffee, okay?
I like it straight up. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like the color of tires. This is dark, like lighter than the color of tires.
Yes.
This is actually my color, actually. But it's good.
It's a medium roast.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Salute to the coffee chef. You know what I mean? This is really good.
Thank you. And thank you again for being here. And so we were talking about how we met. And I know I walked up to you and I introduced myself and I said a name. Was that the first time that I imagine you probably made contact with your mom by yourself anyway? Not
as much as I would like to.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, like that's been a really tough one because as a person who, you know, when my grandmother passed, I used to be able to astral project.
Oh, I want to talk about that too.
Pull up on her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once I understood what it was.
Yes.
Because at first there was a long pocket of time I thought I was being abducted.
Yes. Tell us about that because I want to talk about that.
So probably when I was in my early 20s, I would experience sleep paralysis a lot, right? And then like for those who don't know, sleep paralysis is when you sleep and you can't move. And then like sometimes you'll hear like things, see things.
And I think like people call it like the devil riding your back or something.
Yeah, the witch
the witch riding your back,
yeah. And like, you know, like, and now like years later with understanding, because the mind, if I was just to break it down for you, the mind is like a radio.
Yes.
And the more you tune your mind in the different frequencies, the different things you'll see, hear, and experience. Mm-hmm. A lot of times we stuck in this typical 3-dimensional frequency where like I'm seeing you, this is a plant, it's a fire, that's coffee.
Yeah.
Right? But what if you can dial in a little bit and then maybe I'm seeing a little bit more that's in the room.
Yes.
Maybe I'm seeing the plants actually grow in real time and I'm seeing the cellular level of the plants. Yeah. And that's the interesting thing about like not only ayahuasca, but also certain types of mushrooms.
Okay.
It allows you to get into those different frequencies to where you're not just seeing what your eyes are allowing you to see. It's repairing synapses in your brain so you can hit all those frequencies.
Yeah.
Because even during the ayahuasca retreat, the first time, like, the people in the kitchen were definitely speaking English. I was not hearing English. Like I was
hearing something else. Wow.
I was hearing because I was on a different frequency.
Yeah.
And I was seeing different things. I was seeing the purple energy in the sky, like through the ceiling.
And that's really how mediumship works, right? As a medium, it's like I'm tuned into particular frequencies and vibrations that allow me to use my parasenses, is what we call it, right? Clairaudience, claircognizance, clairgustance, where you know, it's not a physical sense, but it's a parasense.
Yeah.
So it's like I can hear things, or I can see things, I can smell things that are other people aren't tuned into that frequency. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and the more I started to understand that, and crazy thing is, like I don't be reading books about this stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's just the information the universe gives me. Like, yo, it's a frequency, da, da, da. And then when I hear somebody who's well more trained than I am and like went to school for this, and they say the exact same thing, that, like I just knew.
You downloaded it.
It's like, yeah. So going back to, so like in my 20s, I would have this sleep paralysis thing. And I literally thought that like there were interdimensional beings, possibly aliens, taking me away.
Yes.
Like to the point where I would sometimes sleep and hold the bed rail at night. And then after I started looking up more about the causes of sleep paralysis, I was like, oh, okay, so that's kind of normal. It's a thing. But then one night I ended up in the kitchen in the Bronx of the apartment me and my grandmother used to share.
Wow.
And it was different. It was the kitchen, but it was slightly different.
Okay.
But she knew that this was a common place that we
both could meet up,
that we understood the energy. It was a level playing field. So we talked, and she was like, hey, yeah, I'm gone, but I'm okay. You're okay. You're doing all the things you're supposed to do. Yeah. And so like that made me feel okay. Yeah. Because like that told me that she was all right, and she like was happy with the decisions and the choices I was making in my life, even though I was making, by my admittance, not the best decisions at that time of life, right? But so fast forward a few months later, a relative of ours passed away, and I went to his funeral, and I ran into my grandmother's niece, and she's like, hey, I bought your grandmother's apartment. And I'm like, get out of town.
What?
Can I see it? So I went to her house, and it was the exact.
No way, because you said it was different than the.
That's why it looked different.
Oh
so like that's where we would meet up, and like I think we did it like 2 or 3 times, which is like, it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're talking to a person who's no longer here, that's plenty. It's more than you would normally get, when somebody's gone. So that made me understand, okay, this astral projection thing is real. How can I do it whenever I want? So now I'm trying to chase the information. I'm going on YouTube, looking up binaural beats, and doing like hemi-sync things to, try to tap into the energy. And then, and a lot of times I was successful, especially with the binaural beats. And like a lot of people think you should do it before you go to sleep, but the best time to do it is like during the daytime. Okay. Because like if you try to do it while you're like trying to go to sleep,
you're gonna go to sleep.
You're gonna go to sleep. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that was the only time like I would be able to be still at any point in the day. So so like a lot of times I would do it at night still, because like I would probably still have Red Bull in my system. Yeah. So like I'm laying down, but I ain't going to sleep. Yeah. Mind awake, body sleep, kind of thing. So so when my mom passed, I was terrified to run into her in that way, and I was just scared, because I didn't know what to say. Okay. And I didn't know what I would say, and I didn't even know if I'd want to leave, in that environment. And so for like mad years I couldn't do it anymore. And it wasn't due to my lack of trying. I just couldn't do it. Yeah. Just couldn't do it.
I think sometimes what I find is that when people can't make connection in whatever way, right? Whether it's, they'll say, well, my loved ones won't show up in the dream, or, my sister sees the cardinal, but I don't ever see the cardinal or the butterfly. I think sometimes our grief gets in the way.
Oh, definitely.
Right. I think the energy of grief is a block to, or a barrier to, spirit communication. And of course, I feel like sometimes when somebody's that close, like your mother, then it's just like, how do I move some of this grief out of the way to receive communication?
Yeah, like it was, cause like when my grandmother passed, I was devastated. Yeah. Cause like that was like my other mother. Yeah. And that was the worst thing that happened to me up to that point. Yeah. And a lot of terrible things have happened to me throughout my life, but that was the worst thing. Like, like things will happen, but don't take people away.
But because it's literally losing a part of yourself.
Yeah. Like I remember her taking me to Alexander's to go back to school shopping in the Bronx on Fordham Road. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just all these great memories, and just like things that I even still do to this day because she put me on. So I ain't never had a turkey burger before. I was, you know what I'm saying? Like why is this meat gray? You know what I'm saying? Like, but then I realized, oh, you did that, you know, because you trying to take better care of yourself.
Yeah.
So you vicariously taking better care of me.
I love
and
that.
Like, you know, so like that spills into what I do for my kids.
So, and we're going to talk about that too, because you have kids. You have 4 kids. That's so amazing. But like walking up to you, and I don't even know what we were talking about. And all of a sudden I'm like, your mother says to say Byron. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. But you know what that means.
That was wild. So Byron was a guy who is a quantum hypnotherapist.
Right. Now, mind you, I don't always do this to people, just walk up and just like skip. But in that moment, Spirit was like, no. Like, did your mother like have a no-nonsense attitude or something? Because it was pretty much like, say this now.
My mom was like the ultimate sweetheart.
Okay.
And like, but also was feisty, like
okay.
could fight. She was little but could fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like she would treat everybody like royalty, like, you know, like always like, come on, get a plate, all that stuff. But you know, but when she had to stand her ground, she definitely would stand her ground.
Yeah.
But it was just so specific. You mentioning that name because like that's the only Byron I know. Yeah. And I only talked to that person like right around that time my mom passed. Like if I had an appointment to go to that quantum hypnotherapist at 3, my mother passed at like 7.
Wow.
And because I was just trying to like, you know, find out is my mom gonna be okay? Yeah. And my higher self was like, no.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
And that was a tough pill to swallow.
Wow.
And then like, I just had other questions like, hey, am I a good person?
Yeah.
And like, what do you mean by that? Like, am I a good person? And he was like, yeah, you're a good person. And have I been here before? And they're like, nah, it's your first time. Which is weird because I thought I'd been here before.
I feel like you have.
Yeah, I feel like maybe it was wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like you've been here many times.
Yeah, because like that's what I feel. Like I feel like the information that I have, like you don't get this on your first life.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
is like this is a man on his 9th, 8th life.
Hundreds.
Yeah, hundreds, but that was what the takeaway was. And the crazy thing is I have that whole quantum hypnotherapy session on in Google Drive somewhere.
Oh wow.
I just never listened to it. Wow. It's just too tough.
Yeah.
It's just too tough.
That's just not even a common name. Like that's not even a name I would say like by. It was like just so specific. So I knew that was for. And what's so crazy was that event, a friend of mine, Vaughn, had invited me. And I didn't know you know Vaughn.
Vaughn
Alvarez. Yeah. And so Vaughn and I would go to church. Like he's a church member of mine, really good person. And he always invites me to these events. And so I went and I was like, I don't even know why I'm here. I kept telling one of my friends that, right? I was like, I don't even know why, I'm here. I was like, it's a beautiful event, but there was nothing like specific to me except for when you walked in the door.
Wow.
And I saw you like go on the red carpet and take the picture. And I was like, that is why I'm here. I was like, he's the reason I'm here.
And I felt that too. Like, it was a 1-2 punch because it was, I ran into you. And I ate no food that night. And it was ironic because it was about food. Yeah,
it was all about food, yes.
I didn't have a bite. I think I might have water. That was it. Yeah. And then I ran into a brother right outside the event as I was leaving who just randomly prayed for me. And so those 2 things, like, I think I cried there and I cried in the car. Like, because I was just having a really, really tough week. Yeah. Or just, because like, sometimes you keep yourself busy. You just do all the things. Keep going and going and going. And then sometimes when it's quiet, be like, yo, man, I got like mad fires to put out.
Yeah. What a beautiful way of like spirit showing like I'm still here. Right? Yeah. I'm not here physically, but I'm still here. And I'm gonna give you these 2 gifts so that you know that I'm still here with you.
Yeah, man, when you tapped in like that, the universe is always gonna give you what you need. Cause like even when I go to a place and I'd be like, similar to you, why am I here?
Yeah.
I always figure it out because there ain't no empty trips.
Absolutely.
So like that part is like really, really, really dope in the overall scope of things. Because sometimes that is the lesson. Like why did I go? Oh, that's what it was for. So so I'm so glad to cross paths with your energy that night.
Oh, that was so awesome. I was like,
it did a lot for me that night. Like it really did. Like I needed that. I really did.
Thank you for that. Now you have children.
Yes.
4 children. Mm-hmm. How do you impart this wisdom on them? Like, do they know about astral projection? Do they know about the aliens and the UFOs? And
I told my oldest is a little tuned in on some of that stuff because like I was telling them about it like when I was like figuring things out, because I've had custody of my oldest since he's been 3.
Gotcha.
Right? So, but I've always talked to him like he was 23.
Gotcha.
Like the entire time. So like you know these people trying to kill you, man. You know, like the foods, man. You got you like telling you, man, you gotta stop eating the stuff you eat.
So he's eating grape nuts at 3.
For the most, man, he's eating chicken nuggets. Diet primarily, he's a chicken nugget colored human being now because of all the chicken nuggets he can. Chicken nuggets and fish sticks.
Yes.
He's the color of those. But you know, like, but I just like told him because like, you know, like I just wanted him to have the information. I don't ever want, you know, because like our people perish due to lack of knowledge.
Absolutely.
And I remember one year I famously was like, I ain't drinking soda no more. Drinking Powerade. Yo, and I was drinking like 2 64-ounce bottles of Powerade.
Right, and that's no better.
And then when I went to the doctor, they're like, yo, what are you doing?
Right.
And I'm like, yo, stop drinking soda. I'm drinking Powerade. I'm very hydrated.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, bro, you're pre-diabetic right now. Like, drink water. Like, knock it off.
Yeah.
So I always try to tell people the info, you know, especially if I know they're receptive to it. But my 13-year-old,
yes,
that kid is magic.
So you have 20, 24,
26, okay, 13, 11, and 7.
Okay.
But yeah, my 13, like, yo, I always tell people children are like little thumb drives of us.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
They may not have all the data that the terabyte that we are may have, but they're going to have the important stuff.
Yeah.
And like, he knows things that I never had to tell him. And it's just already installed in him. Yeah. You know, it's like, you got the desktop, then you got the laptop.
Yeah, he's the laptop.
Laptop got most of the stuff that the desktop got, but you know what I'm saying? So like, so even as it relates to spirituality, man, like, yo, like, you know, I don't have to push him in that direction. You're already there.
Okay.
You're already there.
So you're not like, they don't have like, you're not like, okay, you're going to be Christian because I was raised this way. Like they get to just experiment on their own.
Yeah, because like, I mean, because even with like, it's crazy, because like, all right, so growing up, I went to a Baptist church, but went to Catholic school. Okay. And hung out with 5%ers. Right. So I'm around that. I'm around all of it. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Like, you know, peace God. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, what's today's mathematics? Like,
to the nuns.
Yeah, like I'm around all of it. So like, and like nobody wrong.
Yeah, nobody's wrong.
Some of the people more fun than others. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody's wrong.
So like, you know, so like my thing is you're going to find your tribe.
Yes.
You know, like, because the thing is what speaks to me in a certain way may not speak to you in that same way. Yeah. And it's whatever puts enough wind in your sail to be the best version of yourself that you can be, so you can add the most value to the world and society at large. Like that's what I'm pushing you towards. Yeah.
Now, how different of a father are you from a 26-year-old to a 7-year-old?
Man, so I was a father at 21.
Yeah.
So back then, I mean, largely I would say I am kind of the same person. I just think back then I was a little bit more available. Okay. Because like, you know, one person was getting pretty much 100% of my attention. So now I gotta kind of like microdose my energy up to, all right, 7 years, you wanna do what? You trying to get what? You want to play Fortnite? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you're doing all the things and like still trying to be there for, you know, yourself and, you know, and so, you know, service the world too. So, you know, sometimes I get sad because like my 7-year-old will not have the same amount of time with me as my oldest will. Wow. Because mathematically it's just impossible. Yeah. Like he has a 21-year jump on you. Yeah. You know, so like all I can do is try to do my best to take care of myself to the point where I can live as long as Dick Van Dyke or something. Yeah. and be here for the shorties, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because
all boys?
All boys. So I make left Twix. No, right. I got a specialty. I don't deviate. Like churches makes what? Chicken. You make boys. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do.
I love it. We're gonna take a small break and we'll be right back. All right, you guys are back to the Medium Rose podcast. We are so happy that you are here. We are getting to the end of our segment, but before we do, you know, we got to do our myth or fact about our guest. This is where our guest gets an opportunity to tell us one myth that just probably keeps coming up from them, and they're going to clear that up with us today. So what is one myth and fact about you?
Okay, one myth is I'm too nice. And here's the thing. I am very nice. However, I am also very, I have a good sense of discernment. And the thing is, I I will be nice and grant opportunities to people who I see a trajectory in, or I see like really truly wants to make something out of themselves.
Gotcha.
Like I'm a helper. Like I don't like to attach money to everything.
Gotcha.
Because like when you attach money to everything, I think it corrupts the integrity of a lot of the things you're doing and we try to do as people. So I do a lot of favors, and I think sometimes when you do a lot of favors for people, they be like, "Oh yeah, we could just get him." Da, 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 da. Nah, I tell mad people no. It's just I don't say it in boldface, all caps. You know what I'm saying? To the top of the mountain, because like sometimes I can tell when there's a difference between being used and utilized.
I like that.
I'm cool being utilized.
Yes.
And when I feel that energy, I throw the barrier up. You know, I'm hard to get a hold of. You'll FaceTime me, and I'll turn it. Thing, because like at the end of the day, like yo, listen, man, like yo, like I'm like Spider-Man. I'll save everybody once. Yeah, once. I love that. There's a difference between being used and utilized. I like that right there. And there's a lot of users out there. Yeah. So you gotta have your antenna up. I like that. Thank you for that. Tell us what projects you're working on right now. Projects. So like, listen, I'm always cooking up some music, right? And I think the fact part, is like, yo, man, I'm gonna take a glasses off this one. Despite what you know me for, right? Whether it's radio, TV, improv, maybe you only know me from 25 words or less. Music is what got me here. Music is what I care about. Like when I die, I want people to be like, yo, man, that was my favorite artist. You know what I mean? Like for real. Like, because I love that album you just did. Microdose. Awesome. Yes. Microdose or Microdose Plus? The Microdose. Oh, you got to listen to Microdose Plus. Okay. It's fall, winter energy, extra strength. You know, like when you get like, like Tylenol is extra strength. Tylenol. Yeah. Microdose Plus is for the extra strength times that we're in right now. Thank you for that. No problem, man. So like I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and like most of Microdose and Microdose Plus was written and constructed during those ayahuasca times. Like so I was being very emotionally vulnerable and just talk about like traumas and things like that. Because on the second one, on Microdose Plus, there's it's kind of like an extended version, but like there's extra songs and it feels like a completely different album the way I structured it. Yes. But there's a song on there called "It Follows," and it's about how generational traumas follow people when you don't understand what the traumas are. Yes. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times, especially people in my generation who survived, the crack epidemic of the 80s and just the way like families were being torn apart by like, very harsh legal systems. Yes. A lot of that, even though, it didn't directly, you weren't the person maybe incarcerated on, but like, yo, even things that happen to your grandparents. Yes, it follows. Can affect you. I love that. Whether you experienced it or lived through it with them. Yeah. Same way I was saying how like kids are like thumb drives. I call it the spiritual DNA. Yeah. So like, all of that travels with us. So like, it's really about like, just making people understand like, listen, things that may be bearing heavy on you are possibly largely because of the traumas that and I think sometimes, and when we understand that, then we can know that it is our spiritual responsibility to heal that trauma so that we don't continue passing it down. Right. You know what I mean? So that's why, like, I always like just bust my ass to make sure my kids don't have the exact same childhood I did. Because my childhood, as chaotic as it was, forged the diamond. Yeah. All the pressure, right? You know what I mean? So like, I mean, and the thing is, like, I would never change anything. Yeah. Like, there'd be times where I'd be, man, I wish my mom and dad were still together. You know what I'm saying? But like, they didn't need to be together. Yeah. Like, they didn't need to be together. Like, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like, you just got to kind of take the cards that you're dealt. Yes. And figure out how to win the game anyway. Yes. No matter what. No matter what. That's so good. So you got your album. That your music. Plus, yes. And then there's also another project that I'm dropping coming out in 2026 called One Man Talent Show. I love it. Which is going to be like super duper fun, more vibes, more energy, less serious than the last project. Okay. You know what I mean? It's going to be a little bit more fun. Okay. And then also I own a boxing gym called Pepper Boxing. And I'm going to check it out. Oh, please come through and just hit the bag as hard as you can. And let that aggression up. Yes. Hooks, jabs, crosses, uppercuts. Definitely come and check it out. And then also, like, there's some people whispering in my ear, like, come on, man, come back to radio. So are you gonna go back to radio? Because you're still doing side dish. Still doing side dish,
yes.
man. Yo, so shout out to Tanner, Claudia Jordan, and the whole team behind the camera.
Yes, y'all are always coming with all the good information, like catching people up on all the good stuff.
Now we let it, and the dope thing about side dish and how it differs from regular Dish Nation, it's an hour long, it's interactive. People could be in the chats, we respond to the chat.
Yeah.
And I like that component because it's like that real time.
You're interacting with the people. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, doing that, and also just trying to like be in more movies where I don't play myself.
You actually want to play a character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember one time like I played a SWAT dude.
Yeah.
But you just like they even use somebody else's feet jumping out the van and you see me go clear.
Yeah. And
that was my part.
So you want to act as well.
Yeah, because the thing is, if I sat around and did nothing, my phone will ring.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we got a part for you. You want to play a podcast host? I'm like, that's a little different.
Yeah.
I
feel like if you say it, it's gonna happen.
Oh no, absolutely. The power of manifestation is real. That's why I be very intentional with the things I ask for.
Yes.
Because I've made terrible things happen to people, and I also prayed that terrible stuff away to undo it. Because listen, like when you don't know the power that you wield,
that's good.
It's terrible if you don't know because
I'm saying it's good what you're saying.
A tool is a weapon, and you ain't using it right.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So once I understood the power that my tongue could wield, I was just very intentional in the things that I asked for.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I will be in an action movie, and I will be the second to last person to die in a horror film.
The second to last.
We'll do all the things. I want to make it almost to the end, but I do invest a lot of energy into my character and my character's well-being. Yeah. Just for him to almost make it. Yeah. I feel like that hits different.
And it's a little bit sadder, and people didn't care. Yeah, I love that.
Coolie High?
This is one of my favorite movies.
It's not a horror movie, but it is to me.
It is. Because the main character does. Yes. I think this is a good segue to the Benediction. Okay. And the Benediction is when you get to look into your camera and you leave us just with some words of wisdom, some motivation, some empowerment.
All right, cool.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Every day when you wake up, you be sure you lace your shoes up tight and prepare to run a race. A race that will have you running faster than your dreams. So you're not chasing your dreams, but you're beating your dreams to where they're going. All that preparation and all that stuff that you're doing right now is preparing you for when the opportunity that you've been waiting for finally arises. And I know it seems like you've been chipping away for a long time, but guess what? It's all a test. And every test that's thrown in front of you, God knows you can pass it. You just have to believe in that. We believe in you, so you should believe in yourself. Keep chipping away, keep your shoes laced, run that race, and all your dreams are going to happen. And then some. You might need to dream big. You might need a bigger head.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here.
Oh.
Not for real. This is very cathartic and very healing. You know what I mean?
Thank you for that.
I had the privilege to come and watch you do this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And even watching from a spectator standpoint, you have a gift.
Thank you.
And your gift is blessed.
Oh, thank you.
And you bless people with the gifts, and hopefully people watch this and they heal through it. So, salute to you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And this has been another episode of the Medium Rose Podcast with your host, medium, minister, and spiritual teacher, Dr. LaCara Foster. And we're going to see you all at the next pour.